Howdy y'all, this is Jeff the Jukebox Cowboy taking you back to those thrilling days of yesteryear. Non-stop screeching, mayhem, guaranteed to scrape your brain out of its pan and serve it back to you Kentucky fried. No, I'm not talking about the new Taylor Swift single. I'm talking about Lou Reed's Metal Machine Music. This episode, we're rocking our way back to 1975 to the album Lou said he wanted to make ever since he left the Velvet Underground. Now, once again, this is some pretty far out cover art, man. I mean, Bubba, can you zoom in on that? Get camera 2 in on that. All right, now at first sight, it looks like it could be a live album, but if you look closer on the front, it's described as an electronic instrumental composition, and on the back, there's a list of all these gizmos he used to make it. Mainly a ring modulator, lots of tape machine, and lots of amplifiers. No synthesizers, no ARP, no instruments, no panning, no phasing, no. And then he goes on to say, nobody he knows ever listened to the dang thing all the way through side 4, including Lou himself. So is Metal Machine Music for you? What does the dang thing sound like anyway? Well, folks, start with a blender full of crushed glass. Take a radio, turn it up as loud as you can and tune it between stations. Then go to your hardware store and get a power saw. And you got a pretty good idea of what this thing sounds like. And now if that ain't exactly what you're looking for, partner, don't worry. You see, one of the best things about Metal Machine Music is that you don't even have to listen to it to appreciate it. Just knowing that it's out there with all the other records is impressive enough. And not as just some little 2-minute thing that somebody sticks at the end of their album. Heck, not even a single album. This is 4 sides of this stuff. Is it a serious electronic composition? Is it an art statement? Is it a joke? All of the above? Well, when I was 15 years old, I had to find out. So I tracked down my used copy. I took this sucker home. I got outside 1. I popped the needle down on it and it went, Aah! I flipped it over. I put on side 2. I put the needle at the very beginning and it just kicked off. Aah! It was amazing. Then I put on side 3. Same thing. And then I put on side 4. Same thing. But you know what? The more I listened to this thing, the less random it sounded. In fact, after a while, I could hear all kinds of little cool little musical doodads and ziddly boppers just to kind of zipping and moving around the mix. And even cooler than that, at the very end of side 4, Bubba, could you get in on that? Get in on the side, right here. At the end of side 4, there's this thing called a locked groove, and it's put there to make the record keep skipping backwards and repeating the last second of the music until you gotta get up and take the record off yourself to make the dang thing stop. So if I wanted to, I could just keep listening until my needle melted down. But if you really want to listen to Metal Machine Music nonstop, there's only one way to go, ladies and gentlemen, and that is 8-track tape. I love this album. I'm giving it 5 out of 5 cowbells. I highly recommend it for your high school prom, your next study group, your golden anniversary, or your next root canal. Now, real quick, here's a couple of more Metal Machine Music recommendations. In 2011, a fan mashed up Lou's Metal Machine Music with Brian Eno's ambient music for the album Metal Machine Music for Airports. And even more impressive is this German band called Zeitkratzer, who notated all 4 sides of the original album and then performed it live on strings and guitars and woodwinds. And I also want to highly recommend this book, Psychotic Reaction and Carburetor Dung. It's got some really crazy interviews and articles where the writer Lester Banks dukes it out with Lou Reed, and woo-wee, these boys love to wrestle. And during one of their fights, Reed even admits to sneaking in frequencies banned by the FCC, known to induce violence and irritation. And in another article, the writer Lester Banks says, well, if Lou wants to really get into irritation scientifically, he should follow the works of somebody like Sparks. Which brings us, ladies and gentlemen, to the viewer request section of today's show. Stefan last wrote in, he said, Sparks were one of the first who got me into music in the mid-70s. Surely there must be a copy of Number 1 in Heaven somewhere in that collection of yours? Well, Stefan, it was my first Sparks album, and you never forget your first Sparks album, do you? Actually, I got it around the time I got Metal Machine Music, and yeah, I reckon it's my favorite Sparks album too, and the cover art is great. The videos are a hoot, and they made the dang thing with Giorgio Moroder, a man so cool that he allowed a caterpillar to live on his face for the good part of the 70s. Now here's a picture I took of Giorgio. I went and saw him live at the Moog Fest, and right here he's playing my favorite track from the album, Beat the Clock, and that pretty much sealed the deal, dude. So yeah, Sparks #1 in heaven, 5 out of 5 cowbells. But hey, don't take my word for it. On this one, let's get a second opinion from my sidekick, co-host, and personal friend, Video Cow. Come on in, Video Cow.
Hey, Video Cow. What's going on, man?
Moo! Video Cow, how many cowbells do you give?
#1 in heaven.
Moo! Woo-ha! Thank you, Video Cow, and a Texas-sized thank you to everybody out there who has subscribed, emailed, and shared this show on YouTube. It's y'all that keep it going, and I am much obliged. And of course, this episode of Jukebox Cowboy is dedicated to Lou Reed, the master of metal!